On the world stage, Vladimir Vladimirovich Putin is a man who projects power, precision, and control. As the president of Russia for over 2 decades, his presence commands attention, his decisions ripple across continents, and his name stirs both admiration and controversy. But for all the speeches delivered, the handshakes captured on camera, and the policies debated, Putin remains an enigma, a puzzle not easily solved. How did this man ascend from relative obscurity to become one of the most influential and secretive leaders of the modern era? To answer that, we must delve into the corridors of power, into the world of espionage and shadows where his story began. Born in Leningrad, now St. Petersburg, on October 7, 1952, Vladimir Putin grew up in a Soviet Russia still reeling from the fallout of World War II. The young Putin wasn't particularly special in the eyes of the world. He lived in a communal apartment with his parents, attended a local school, and by many traditional metrics could have lived a quiet, uneventful life amidst the gray stone buildings of his city. But Putin's ambitions simmered just beneath the surface. As a teenager, he was captivated by stories of intelligence operations and spycraft. The works of Soviet espionage literature inspired him to join law school, where he laid the foundation for his ultimate goal, joining the KGB. And in 1975, he achieved that goal. This marked the beginning of his foray into a realm that nurtures secrets and cultivates silence. The KGB was, at the time, one of the most formidable intelligence agencies in the world, and Putin's work there helped him master the art of concealment and strategy. Officially, his role was far from glamorous. He spent years in Dresden, a quiet city in East Germany, as a liaison officer. But it's in this period that his ability to observe, calculate, and bide his time became apparent. In espionage, it's not always the loudest or most dramatic moves that leave their mark. It's the quiet, methodical manipulation of circumstances that changes the game. What exactly Putin achieved during these years remains largely shrouded in mystery. He destroyed most of his KGB files upon leaving, which has only fueled speculation. Some say his role in Dresden was a cover for much larger operations. Others think he learned the art of power in silence, skills that would later define his political approach. But his time in the KGB came to a sudden halt in 1991 during the collapse of the Soviet Union. It was a moment of profound transformation, not just for Russia, but for Putin himself. He resigned from the KGB, disillusioned and uncertain about his future. He returned to St. Petersburg, where he quietly began climbing the ranks of local politics. He worked as an aide to Mayor Anatoly Sobchak, gaining valuable insights into governance and the inner workings of power. Yet even then, Putin maintained a low profile, watching, learning, and keeping his ambitions close to his chest. By the late 1990s, however, something peculiar happened. Vladimir Putin began to rise, rapidly. In 1998, President Boris Yeltsin appointed Putin the director of the Federal Security Service, or FSB, the KGB's successor. Within a year, he was named prime minister, and by the end of 1999, after Yeltsin's resignation, Putin was acting president of Russia. A man who had been virtually unknown to the Russian public just a few years earlier was now in command of one of the largest nations on earth. How did this happen? Was it his political skill, his connections within the intelligence community, or was there a plan all along, an invisible hand guiding his ascent? To this day, the exact mechanisms behind Putin's meteoric rise remain the subject of debate and speculation. While some view him as a man carefully crafted by the remaining power structures of post-Soviet Russia, others consider him a self-made tactician who skillfully navigated the chaotic waters of politics at a time when Russia was searching for stability. Once in power, Putin began shaping Russia in his image. His leadership exudes an aura of control, one that seems derived as much from his KGB training as from his understanding of Russian history. Yet questions continue to surround his leadership. His inner circle, often shrouded in secrecy, consists of a few loyalists, many of whom share a background in intelligence. Critics have called this a state within a state, suggesting that Putin has engineered a government that operates on principles of doubt, control, and stealth. But perhaps the most intriguing mystery of all lies not in his political moves, but in the man himself. Vladimir Putin seldom reveals personal details. Where does the line between Vladimir Putin the statesman and Vladimir Putin the strategist blur? For every well-documented moment in his life, there are just as many missing pieces, decisions made behind locked doors, alliances forged in silence, and motives that remain hidden in the shadows. And so the mystery of Vladimir Putin endures. To some, he is a patriot, a man who rebuilt Russia's pride and strength after years of decline. To others, he is a figure whose power thrives on secrecy and control. But to those who seek to unravel the enigma, one simple truth emerges. The answers, as always, lie hidden in plain sight, waiting in the dark corners of history, where only the boldest are willing to look.